Hello, everyone. I am lovely Alston. I am the CEO and owner and operator of Onyx Urban Media Group, and this is OnSight.
You got a lot of ties in this area to the Sanford area, and we'll get into your actual event in a moment. But briefly tell the people that's not familiar with your background, your story, like what are your ties to Sanford?
Sanford is my hometown. I was born and raised here. I lived, a lot of my life here. I moved around a lot as an adult, but I was born and raised here. This is home.
Cool. Okay. And then you've been in the media field for a while, so
Yeah.
briefly explain, like, what have you done? I know you started out, now the company is Urban Onyx, or Onyx Urban. Did I say it
Onyx
correctly?
Urban.
Onyx Urban. Okay, now the company or the brand is Onyx Urban, but before that, it started as Purpose TV.
Yes, it did.
So let's go back a little
You
bit.
gotta do your homework.
Absolutely. Talk to us about Purpose TV. What was the message behind Purpose? When that started, and what all types of productions did you do under that imprint?
Wow. Okay, so there's so many levels. So first, it did start off as Purpose TV that was launched in 2012. I did my first season. I taped it here in Sanford, so that was amazing. My desire when I started was to be an interviewer. I wanted to talk to people about what their purpose was in life. That's why it was called Purpose TV.
Okay.
And the whole goal was to show other people that if other people are living their purpose, they can see how they are, that they can too. So it was really a platform to encourage other people to live their purpose in life. So that's kind of where that started. That was the original point of the platform. However, it kept evolving over the years. So once it started, first season was taped in one day. And then after that, the person that actually did the taping, I sat and I used to watch them edit. They were editing, and I fell in love with the whole editing process. So I already had, I guess it goes back a little bit further. So I started out in media. Oh my gosh. I was in my early 20s. So Armanda Hancock Gospel, he was the first one to put a camera in my hand. So I was, 21. I was real young. So he just slapped the camera in my hand and said, "This is what you do, bap, bap, bap." And that was it. And I was like, okay. He just threw me out there and I was like, okay.
Nice. Shout out to Armando Hancock.
I know, right? He was the first one and I really appreciate him. Now, after that, I have to shout out Robert Ortega. I don't know if you remember him, but he used to work at, and I'm thinking I have it right, WCD TV 67. That was a long time ago. It was a little station here in Sanford, real local, and he was actually the first one. I was there as a salesperson. I did a terrible job at it, okay? I did not sell anything at all. But the experience that I gained from it, Roberto, he actually somehow worked out some kind of deal where we were able to go to the Stellar Gospel Music Awards.
Nice.
And he was like, "I want you to come with me." I was like, "Bet, I'm going." Yes. And so we went down there and he was the first one to just put a mic in my hand. That was not the plan. I don't know. He said, "We're going." I said, "Okay." And boom, I was ready to go. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I thought I was going to be behind the camera maybe because I had some camera experience, but no, he was like, "Psh, here, interview this person." I was like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, what?"
But sometimes that's how we learn. Sometimes in
know.
order for us to get out of our comfort zone, we have to be thrown in the fire.
Exactly.
So for you and your brand, being thrown in the fire kind of propelled you to where you are today.
I know. Yeah. So with that experience, and I loved it, I was able to interview, oh my God. My first interview was Lee Williams. Of the quartet. I can't think of the quartet name, but Lee Williams was my first interview. So that's why it's always stuck in my head, his name. And I got all my jitters out there. And I think he's now passed away. But after him, it was the gospel show, BET. Good Lord.
Bobby Jones, right?
Thank
Bobby
you.
Jones.
Bobby Jones. I interviewed him, Vicky Winans, Kurt Franklin. I did that was as a dual interview with Roberto, and it was an amazing experience, and I just took so much from that. And it was a moment where I had to say to myself, Keisha, are you gonna just be too afraid to do this? Because this is an opportunity. It's gonna either make or break. You're either gonna say yes or you're gonna say no. And what are you gonna do? And I was like, Keisha, I will kick myself if I don't take advantage of this opportunity.
Right.
So I did, and it was amazing. That led me to wanting to have my own show. That's how Purpose TV came about. And that was years later. I mean, years, maybe 10, 12 years later before that actually came to be.
Okay.
And in your 20s, you are trying to really figure out who you are and what you want to do. So
True.
I went through that whole process, and it came back around to wanting the show. All right. So got the show, fell in love with editing. And then Purpose Productions was born. Once I found out how to edit, and they were like, look, I want to make sure that no one thinks that I'm editing your stuff. You're going to have to learn yourself. And I was like, come on, man. I was like, yo, show me something. He was like, I'll show you this, I'll show you this, and I'll show you this. And that's it. And I was like, I was mad. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, okay, really, you could literally teach me everything. He was like, no, you're gonna have to do the work. And I was like, all right, fine. That was the best decision that they could have made. And I will always shout them out. It was Henry Moore III. I learned so much under him. It's like, I will always appreciate everything I learned from him. But that led me to editing under Purpose Productions. Good Lord. It's so many layers. So once I started Purpose Productions. We did different shows. Of course, I continued with Purpose TV, but now I'm behind the camera and I'm doing the editing. So it was hard for me to do both. So I actually started trying to get people to help me do interviews and things like that. I've had Treva Thompson help me. I've had Solomon McCauley help me as well. Gosh, and then some years kind of passed, and I ended up doing photography. It was never my plan to do photography ever, but the cameras that I used was DSLR.
Right.
So, you can do it's a photography camera that can do video recording. So I was like, okay, I would do some shots here and there, and people start asking me, I want to do a photo shoot. What's your prices? I was like, I don't do photos. I need you to do a photo shoot. And I was like, okay. And somebody was like, why are you passing up money? And I was like, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I said, okay, fine. Let me just start out, just kind of figuring out what I'm trying to do here. But at that time, and that was probably like a year and a half or so after Purpose Productions became Purpose Photography. So it kind of start building from there. So Purpose Photography kind of took off. People started hiring me more for photography than videography. And some people actually forgot that I did videography. And they was like, oh, you do videos too? I did videos first. Right. I was like, man, that's like videos is my one. I love videography.
Now, I know you said your first love was videography, but how do you feel about it now? Like, do you favor photography more than the video aspect? Do you find the editing process easier in photography than it is in video, or like, what's your thoughts on that?
Ooh, honey, that's a big one. Videography is still my baby. Okay. It's still my love more than photography. Editing though, because I'm so busy now, I literally kind of put a real big hiatus on photography. Okay. Because I'm only one person and I am doing so many different things. So I had to think about what I could kind of give up, at least for now, because I still have a day job. So I still got a 9 to 5 and doing that and running my businesses is just, it's a lot. So when it comes down to, editing, okay. it depends on what I'm editing. When it comes down to videography, if I'm doing a wedding or a music video, those are harder for me because it's so many cuts.
Right.
The cuts, if it's a lot of cuts, oh yeah, it's a challenge. I actually enjoy the editing process for photography.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Especially when people are actually allowing me to kind of really take them in and stuff like that. I'm able to kind of alter and clean them up a little bit. And what I mean by take them in, like, if you got a little bit of a gut or you want to, take in.
So you saying you good with the Photoshop then?
Yeah.
Nice. But being a photographer in today's market, you have to have a certain level of Photoshop skill.
You do. I have a friend of mine that hates Photoshop. They like going straight from out of the camera, and I'm like, dude, you see that little chin right there?
Yeah,
right? Like,
if you wanted to have that extra clean look, you definitely have to polish those photos.
You gotta polish them, and that was an issue for them. But I loved it. I would sit there all day and just edit photos. So as far as, I guess, enjoyment, I would have to say that I enjoy editing photos more than editing video. So
okay, cool. Now I just want to back up for just a second. You said once you started recording the first season of Purpose TV, y'all filmed the entire first season in one day.
In one day.
So, like, how many episodes? Walk me through that process. How many interviews? Like, how a whole season in one day? Let's talk about that.
I think it was, I have to think, it was at least 6 people. And I didn't want to make it a lot of episodes. I just, it was my first time, kind of wanted to just kind of get it done and then kind of throw it out there.
Right.
But yeah, they all came. We had it at Comfort Inn, actually, one of the rooms there at, not the rooms, like the conference rooms, in Comfort Inn and Suites in Sanford. And it was, we went back to back. It was like a whole little setup. We had the two chairs, and, I asked them that one of the main questions that I asked them is, what's your purpose, or what do you feel purpose is? What is purpose to you? Because everybody had a different answer. So that's why I wanted to really kind of hone in on that. After I wanted to go behind the camera, it was, I kind of went, it wasn't a season type of thing anymore with Purpose TV.
Okay.
Because I was doing other things and I was trying to be behind the camera.
Right.
So I was kind of restructuring the whole Purpose TV thing, like the whole, the whole purpose of it. Like, of course the purpose of it was the same, but trying to restructure it where I had someone else in front of the camera and be consistent was the biggest challenge for me.
Right. You wanted to scale up the company, basically.
Yeah. I'm trying to let it grow and keep it going. But because of, this whole time I've always had a job, there was a small period of time where I was just business, but that's hard. It's just running your own company is like, you ain't got no other funds coming in. That's challenging. Right
that is
there.
challenging.
That's
Absolutely.
a lot. And I was like, woo, but because you always had to kind of keep money flowing in and figuring out ways on a monthly basis to make sure you get your bills paid. So it was a challenge. And yeah, I went back to the workforce because it was hard. It's consistency. And when you are dealing with people, sometimes in the field that I'm in, the consistency is not always there. And that means that one month you may be struggling to pay your bills, and another month you are on easy street. You're like, you know what I'm saying? So it's a challenge. And with that being said, I want to shout you out. Can I shout you out real quick?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Antrell, listen. I have learned so much from you.
You're going to make me blush behind the camera.
Oh my gosh. Listen. Which camera am I looking at here? This one?
Either one you want to. You go ahead.
Antrell is a beast. You understand? I learned so much from Antrell. And remember that wedding, the Bariri family?
Yes. The Fort Bragg wedding.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Listen. I thank God for you are when on the list of people that I think you're there. You're there, Antrell,
Okay.
because I learned more than you know. Like the fact that you taught me as much as you did. I am super, super, super grateful that I met you and that I learned as much as I did from you. I just wanted to throw that out there. We worked together on a few projects.
True indeed.
And it was like weddings. I think they're all weddings, right? I think they're
No,
all
you helped
weddings.
me out with the we worked on a television pilot in Fayetteville.
That's right.
Sisters the 40s Club.
Yes, we sure did.
A few
And
weddings,
and you got me on that project too. So man, like big shout out to you. Thank you. You helped grow me a lot. So thank you. I just want to throw that out there.
No, I definitely I'm humbled by your words.
Man,
I definitely appreciate
you a
that. And I
beast.
think the main thing that I'll say in response to that is it was always important to me, or one of the things that I learned in school that was important was to build your network, build and grow your network.
Yeah.
Don't burn bridges because you never know when you have to travel back down that road.
Facts.
So finding people that had that same vision and that same like mind about a common goal could only just make you stronger. So being able to, like you said, have those people that you could call on.
Yeah.
When you need extra help on a shoot or whatever, is always a good thing, and not having to, hold their hand and tell them every single step of the way. So that's major. That's major. I definitely appreciate that.
Man, you are a big part of my process to being where I am today. Like, so thank you for real.
Absolutely.
Oh man. Okay, so sorry, had to do that.
No, absolutely. That's
I had to shout you.
It's a nice way to segue into like the future and where we are now. So let's get into everything that's going on with Onyx Urban Radio. And like, what is this event that you're putting together? You got an award show or something coming?
So award show.
Like, let's talk about that. So.
Well, let me tell you about the transition a little bit. So I will say after Purpose Production, first it was Purpose TV, Purpose Productions, Purpose Photography, and then I tried to do an online magazine, right? Let me just go straight on down the line. I think it started out being Focus Magazine or Purpose Magazine or something. I failed like maybe 3 times on the magazine. And it was because I was trying to do everything myself. Everything. Like I was trying to produce a magazine and publish a magazine literally all by myself every single month. And I would be like, and I would get overwhelmed and I just couldn't get enough content, enough time. And I was still working a day job. I'm still a mom. And it was just, I was like, I can't do all of it. You know what I'm saying? I would try to get people on to help, and then, people can be inconsistent.
Right.
So, it is what it is. No hard feelings because everybody's got a life, job, kids, everything. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a big deal, but, I had to understand, okay, I have to do this a different way. I want to go ahead with this. It was a baby of mine. I'm mentioning this for a reason. It is a baby of mine, but I have to just kind of lay it down for now. Let's try again. Try it again. Still, same reason. I ain't learned my lesson. I did not learn my lesson. Then, 3rd time around, failed again. I said, okay, Keisha, stop trying to do everything by yourself. It's not working. So if you're going to do this magazine, you're going to have writers or something like that. I'm like, all right, fine. So fast forward to today. Now, what I have going on now is I changed the name of my company from Purpose Productions to Onyx Urban Media Group.
Okay.
Now, there's a reason. After seeing everything that we were going through as a people, we were always going through something as a race. Okay.
Yep.
And I didn't always appreciate, acknowledge it all, but how social media came about and you were able to see it in real time sometimes and see it more. It's more in your face. And I'm a type of person where I don't like to complain about something and not do anything about it. So I acknowledge that it exists, but I kind of had to tune it out because I felt helpless.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. And then one day I was like, maybe there is something that I can do. What can I do in my own power? With the skills that I have and everything, what is it that I can contribute to us? So I started a group called Onyx Shield. Onyx meaning black.
Okay.
So I don't want to go into a lot of that. It was really pretty much to kind of promote us as a people and try to see what we can do to change things, whether it's in politics or, just learning how to grow our own food and learning how to, deal with weapons and, the whole 9 yards. It was a whole thing to try to help us as a people. Right. So with that being Onyx Shield, I decided I want to rebrand everything to Onyx, meaning black. FUBU, for us, by us.
Yep.
Doggone. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yep.
that's where I'm at right now. Like, I am so on pro-black right now. I don't even know how else to say it or be politically correct. I am on the pro-black thing, and I literally rebranded my entire company to promote that, basically. So I changed everything Purpose. Now, I do still have Purpose TV, and I do have a Purpose podcast as well. Right now, I'm not working it that much, so I don't really talk about it a lot. So, but it is, on my station. Now, when it comes down to Onyx Urban Media Group, it is still videography and still photography. I just rebranded that to Onyx Urban Media Group under that umbrella. Now I have Onyx Urban Radio. Onyx Urban Radio was founded, it's been in existence for like 2 years now, like 2.5 years now. What it is to promote indie artists. I only play independent artists on my station.
Nice.
Only.
Nice.
I don't play any mainstream, nothing. And it's black artists or, artists of color. I'm
Gotcha.
trying to be politically correct here. You know what I'm saying? So artists of color, and I do not apologize for that at all. So, it is what it is. Everybody has their own, platform, and they can do what they want to do. This is what I chose to do with mine. Now, how Onyx Urban Radio came into existence was I had a show on Smack City Radio. It was a radio show called Sensual Seductions, right?
Okay.
Sensual
Seductions. This sounds like some late night after dark. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So look, I'm all blushing. Sensual Seductions. I had friends of mine, they owned Smack City Radio.
Okay.
And I was like, you know what y'all should do? Y'all should have you remember Quiet Storm?
Yes.
We need Quiet Storm back, right? They was like, well, lovely, you got a nice voice. That's how you got a nice voice.
Right.
Won't you do it? I was like, huh? No. Wait, hold on. And I was like, okay, you know what? One of my desires when I was younger was radio. I mean, I worked at a radio station before. And I was able to do a little bit of online voiceover work, but I never thought about having my own show and stuff like that or anything further in radio. But I was like, you know what, Keisha? All right, this is a challenge. Let's see if I can pull this off. So
Right.
I did. And Sensual Seductions is my outlet for that side of me. You know what I'm saying? So all the time I'm a mom, I'm now a wife, and I'm a business owner. So I'm always focused, you know what I'm saying? Focus on this. That side of me, that gave me that outlet to really just kind of, how Beyonce got Sasha Fierce.
Got you. Yeah.
That was my one. That was it for me. That was my sensual, sexual outlet. And I enjoyed it. So it was almost like one of those things that I didn't even realize I needed. And
Right.
oh my God.
It became therapy for you.
Oh my God. I didn't realize how much I was going to enjoy that. That was huge for me. And then Smack City Radio went on hiatus. And I was like, my show. No. Oh my God. And so I was like, okay, what can I do? I'm very solution oriented. I don't like to sit back and complain about stuff. I'm like, all right, this happened. What we gonna do about it?
Right.
All right. So I started doing some research and trying to figure it out. And then I realized, I was like, you know what? He actually, and it was shout out DJ Rio, Mario Sutton. He was the owner of Smack City Radio, and he was a friend of mine. He is a friend of mine still. And I was like, you know what? I don't know how much it would take to actually run a station. But let me find out. Because if he could do it,
why can't you?
Maybe I can do it.
Absolutely.
So I started doing the research. And I was like, Keisha, wait a minute. Hold on. I was like, hold on. Back up. We doing this, Keisha, or no? You know,
we doing this.
I had a whole moment where I was like, Keisha, are we really going down this road? Do you understand you're already busy? Do you understand how much time this is going to take? Like, I had a whole conversation. People say don't talk to yourself. Listen, I talk to myself and I answer myself.
I think all entrepreneurs do this.
Oh my God.
They might not admit it, but all entrepreneurs go through this because we have 10,000 thoughts running through our head at the same time.
God.
And especially when, this just to me sounds like a startup. Like, you knew the idea, you already were working in the field, you had the passion for it. And when you realized that you were also good at this other thing and it went away, you looked at it like, okay, how do I continue to keep this momentum going?
Exactly.
So I guess my follow-up question is, did we relaunch Sensual Seductions on Urban Onyx Radio?
Onyx Urban Radio?
Onyx Urban Radio, excuse me.
I know, it's hard. Everybody do it. Yes, I did. I sure did. So what happened? I found the right platform because there's a million out here. Like, in the research, it's so many options out here. And I just try to figure out the best one for me. But when I tell you it was so hard, I felt like I was going back to school. I had to learn how to run a whole station.
Truth.
And I had one moment where I was like, Keisha, this too much. Or, nope. And then I was like, Keisha, listen. First of all, I don't like to give up. I really don't. But if this is too much, you need to be real with yourself. So I said, Keisha, this is the last time we're going to have this conversation. Do you want to do this? And if you start it, you're going to finish. You're going to continue to do this. It's not something you're going to start and then you're just going to be like, I don't want to do it. No. Are we investing in this? Are we doing this?
Right.
And I said, yes. And other part said, all right, we're not having this conversation anymore then. You do what it takes to make this happen and shut up complaining about it. I literally told myself that. And I said, and I did it. I did it. I launched it. I had so many. And that was another thing. I was like, if I'm going to do this, all right, I'm going to do it. What can I do to make this station different from other stations?
Right.
And I was like, all right, so that's another thing I had to think about. And then I said, you know what? I know so many amazing independent artists. And I was like, to my knowledge, I don't think any station is actually just focusing on just indie artists. I said, well, that could be my thing. That is what can separate me from everything else and everyone else that has a station. So I launched it. I already had a lot of music actually that people submitted to me for Sensual Seductions because I had an indie segment, right? On the show. So I was like, okay, I start reaching out to artists. I was like, this is what I'm doing. Can I put the music on the station? You know what I'm saying? They was like, heck yeah, so I started building it up. I have so much music now and it's amazing. And yes, I have other podcasts and radio shows. And yes, I still have Sensual Seductions going on. And I am super, super, super proud of the station as a whole. I really am. I love that I'm able to give a platform to indie artists because they just don't they don't have a lot of options.
No.
You
Not
know,
at
there's
all.
a lot of stuff out here where you can put your stuff on different streaming platforms and stuff like that. There's that. But when it comes down to someone else's platform, you know, or being able to use someone else's platform, is huge. And I'm really, really excited and happy and honored that I am able to provide that for indie artists. Now, all that being said, leading up to the award show.
Yes,
So,
let's get into that.